DYS Bets family, I hope everyone had a safe election day. Regardless of how you feel about the results, we're not going to get into that here on the channel. We are live from the airport today. So I do apologize if there's like a little bit of echo, background noise. The audio is not as good as you're used to hearing because I don't have my mic with me. But we'll be back in our usual location on Friday. So tomorrow I'll be on the road, but I'll have a video. And then Friday we'll be back. So you guys know every day I drop a video. We're going to stay consistent today. 3 winners, 1 college basketball, 2 NBA player props on the way. Let's get into it. We're moving really quickly today because of audios and just circumstances. Got to get on this flight, so let's get into it real quick. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video. I'm bringing down my favorite picks and plays today as we're trying to get to the bag together and make some money. Yesterday, 1 in 1 day on the channel. Keep it real short and sweet. Rights on the spread. Ooh, we had to sweat that out. We got it done, but a 17-point lead they had in that game, and they blew it down the stretch. It took some free throws. We got it done. Rice minus 6.5. We cashed it at the counter. BYU team total over 89.5. Guess how many they finished with? 88. Ooh, that hurts. They had 88 with 2 minutes left to go. Obviously, the bench players were in. They covered that 35-point spread. So I should have probably taken spread on that one. I just took the team total. So a lot of learning, a lot of adjusting that we have to do here in college basketball to get the year started. But 1 in 1 on the day yesterday, not too shabby. You can see our year-to-date record right here. Not going to dwell on this too long. All I know is that with college basketball here, I'm excited. I'm pumped. So no longer, let's not yap too much longer. If you're not smashing that subscribe button, I don't know what you're doing. Let's get into these winners for today real quickly. All right, first best bet of the day. Let's go to the college basketball slate, and we're going to go to a game that's kind of sticking out to me right now. It's not as beautiful as the slates I'd like to be, but there are some teams that I'm interested in checking out today. We've got Arkansas playing today, Calipari with his new SEC squad there. Excited to see what they look like. We also have a few other teams playing as well, such as UConn. We've got Rutgers with the 2 big players that they've got. Indiana's playing as well today. Auburn, Vermont should be a great game. But one game that's going to stick out to me that I think the spread is just about where it needs to be. It's not too high. It's not too low. We're going to go to the Virginia Cavaliers against the Campbell Camels there, and we're going to take Virginia minus 17.5, minus 110 odds. So yes, I know there's a lot of news surrounding the Virginia program following the Tony Bennett retirement, very surprisingly, like a month before the regular season started. So a lot of question marks as to what this Virginia team is going to look like, right? But for me, the principles of what made Virginia great is still going to be there. Why? Because their new head coach, who's an interim head coach, Ron Sanchez, he's going to be taking over that program. And if you look at Ron Sanchez's history with Virginia, he was the assistant coach to Tony Bennett from 2009 to 2018. He left to become the head coach of Charlotte from 2018 to 2023, and then he returned back to Virginia last year to be the associate head coach, and then now he takes over the program. So all these different factors for me give me a lot of confidence that this is not an unfamiliar style. They're bringing in a new coach that's very dynamic, that's different. No, this is a coach who's familiar with Tony Bennett's system. He's been underneath the helm for Tony Bennett for close to 10 years. And during that time that he was with Tony Bennett, they won 2 ACC tournaments. They won the national championship back in 2016. They had 6 NCAA tournament teams. They didn't win the national championship when he was there, but they did go on an Elite 8 run. So he's used to seeing good kind of success out of this Virginia squad. And when he was at Charlotte, he really didn't have the players that fit that specific pack line defense, that kind of mindset that they need for Virginia, because you need long players, you need athletic players, you need a few shooters who can stretch the floor. So you never was really able to implement this system inside of Charlotte, but they did win the CBI his last year there before he resigned. To me, this is just a Campbell team that has played 1 game so far this year to an unknown opponent. I think they were like D3 or NAIA or whatever, but they're not expected to do too much this year. 307 on KenPom, 288 in offensive efficiency, 310 in defensive efficiency. And for me, this is just a Virginia program that if you cannot score points on, especially with the defense that they're going to bring here, I expect them to cover the 17.5-point spread. I know it's a pretty high number, but this is the Campbell team, guys, that went 14 and 18 last year. 8 and 10 in the CAA. I mean, the CAA is one of the worst conferences that you can be in on the collegiate side. So for me, Virginia was still able to retain some players from last year's NCAA tournament team. I just like them here, 17.5 points. We're going to take them here as our first pick of the day. For the second best bet of the day, let's go to the NBA slate real quickly. 2 guys that I like to go over their totals, combo squares. First one, SGA. over 34.5 points and assists, minus 115 odds. Now, I really like SGA here in this spot because the Thunder are taking on the Denver Nuggets, and this is a team that SGA's had a lot of success against in his career. When you look at the numbers for SGA, last year he faced the Nuggets 3 times, and he went over this total in all 3 of those matchups. And then when you look at his numbers overall in games last year that he was averaging more than 30 minutes per game, he went over this total in 79% of the games. So just way too low of a number here. I know SGA has not been as strong offensively to start the year as we're used to seeing from him. So far to start the year, he's averaging about 25 points per game to go at 7 assists, but that still puts us like we're hovering right around this number. And you know, SGA is a guy who can get you 34 points, 35 points in and of himself. So I just really like this number here. And then when you look at some of the other players that Denver has faced this season, especially high volume point guards, guess what? They've been able to have success against them and go over his number. RJ Barrett, 26 points on 5 of 21 shooting. Anthony Edwards, 33 points. Dennis Schroeder, 42 points. James Harden, 39 points. So these are all guys who've been able to dominate the weak guard play of the Nuggets. They're also going to be missing Aaron Gordon as well in this game, which means another rim protector, another athletic player there. So for me, SGA over 34.5 points and assists, I love it here. Let's smash it as our second best bet of the day. Our final NBA pick of the day. Let's go to the quick Pistons and Hornets matchup here. And we're going to go Mr. Jalen Duren over 23.5 points and rebounds, minus 115 odds. Now, the reason why I really like this pick here is because I think Jalen Duren is a guy that's kind of slept on right now. This number, from a points and rebound standpoint, is just way too low. This is a guy who absolutely grubs on the boards. He's averaging 10 rebounds per game right now, close to 11 to 10.5, and he's averaging 9. He's coming off a big game against the Lakers where he had 11 points and 14 rebounds, and a game against the Nets where he had 13 points, 17 rebounds, going over this total in the last 2 games. But now he faces a very favorable Charlotte lineup as well that does not defend centers at all very well. Right now, when you look at the points per game that Charlotte's giving up to centers, they're in the top half of the league. But then when you also look at rebounds as well, the Hornets are another team that's been getting dominated by centers, again, in the top half of the league. So for me, Jalen Duren is a guy who should be able to play significant minutes here. The Hornets don't have any big men on side that should be able to stop him. He's been in a good double-double trend as of late. If you want to take his double-double at like minus 130, I'm not opposed to that. But Jalen Duren over 23.5 points and rebounds, third and final best bet of the day. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. Real quickly, that I gave you guys 3 winners. Do apologize again about the audio, about not being able to break down the games for longer. But real quick, Virginia, new program, same type of style play that you're going to get them to cover the spread against a very weak Campbell team at 17.5. And then we're also going to take SGA over 34.5 points and assists, and then Jalen Duren over 23.5 points and rebounds to tuck us in. All right, my friends, let's have the day. Let's get to the cash counter, and I'll be back tomorrow with more winners. All right, let's get to it. Later, guys.